Hi everyone, I'm Nick. Are you a buyer today in the resale property market? And do you find that prices is really high? In today's video, I'm going to share with you a hack that has helped my clients to save up to 6-figure kind of savings. And if you're interested to find out more, especially in today's all-time high market, be sure to watch to the end of the video. Hi, my name is Nicholas. I do a lot of real estate content like this. I share my personal journey of my own sale and purchase and what kind of strategies I do employ for myself and also for my clients. So if you like this type of content, please click the subscribe button and hit the like button, and also leave your comments down below because I really like to hear what kind of ideas you guys have as well. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you my resale buyer hack. It's a very exciting episode today because as we can see, resale and subsale prices have been hitting all-time high right over here. So where we are, surprise, we are all the way here, and this is all-time high. Even though we have seen transaction volume has dropped, but prices are climbing through the roof. And so if you are today in the resale market, I'm sure if you see any desirable units, the newer developments, those just TOP in the last few years, a lot of the last transacted prices have already hit record prices. Yet, the sellers are still asking higher than all these last record prices. So they want to break even higher, more record. And that brings what? That brings a lot more risk to you as a buyer. Do you want to be like a cai tao today to go in and gonna whack by these sellers? I'm sure you don't want, right? So in today's episode, we're going to find out exactly what kind of strategy we can employ to help you save more money. So this is a case study I have right over here of Riversound residents. First thing, I want to ask you this question. Usually for higher floor property, for the same kind of unit, do you think it should be worth more or worth less? So usually higher floor commands higher premium, right? So in today's example, of course, I have to censor the floor level because of PDPA. A higher floor unit, interestingly, was sold at a lower price than a lower floor over here. So let me re-emphasize this. In a span of 1 month difference, so this is 18 Feb 2021 and this is 12 March 2021, a higher floor unit was sold cheaper. And of course, it was sold first in February 2021. A higher floor was sold cheaper than a lower floor unit. And the difference is about 100,000. So let's backtrack a bit. Am I right to say that perhaps in January or February, it is likely that both units were in the market at the same time because it takes some time to market a property and to sell a property. So there is a chance that you may also be the buyer and may also view both units at the same time. Same stack, just one floor difference. But why is the higher floor unit able to sell cheaper than a lower floor unit? That's the question we want to have, and I'm sure if you were the buyer, you also want to be the buyer that buy the cheaper unit at a higher floor, right? So let's find out why. So I deep dive even more. I realized that the higher floor unit, they bought from developer and they bought at only $961,000. So they're the first owner. While the lower floor unit, they were actually the second owner who bought at 1.053. So let me ask you this question. For example, today you were the buyer, went to view both units, and then you make an offer. Let's say you also make an offer of 1.02 million to the lower floor unit. But the lower floor seller bought at 1.053 million. If you were the seller who bought at 1.053 million, do you think you would be able to accept a 1.02 million offer? Chances are you probably won't accept. Because why? This 1.02 offer is lower than your purchase price. So essentially, you definitely make a loss. Because why? You still consider stamp fees, consider agent fees, your interest, everything. Definitely, this is a very huge loss transaction. And definitely, if you can, you will not accept this offer. But the higher floor who bought at $961,000 over here, is there a higher chance that they will accept? It is likely, right? Because why? They bought 961. They are sitting, okay the gains are not that great, but at least it's still a positive sale, 1.02 million. And that's why this happened at $1.02 million for a higher floor. Then the lower floor unit, right now, since the higher floor transacted, then the lower floor unit is still in the market. a later buyer who comes in, who realizes that, oh, this is maybe the next best option, no choice, I have to offer something higher because I negotiate with this seller. Somehow he doesn't budge, near the 1.053 million range, he does not budge. Only at 1.13 million, then he accepts the offer. So no choice, a sincere buyer has to make this kind of offer in order to seal the deal. But because of this, there is a gap of 100K. But if you are a discerning buyer, a savvy buyer, and do all this homework beforehand, chances are you can save $100,000 for a higher floor unit. So let's look at another case study. So this is Martin Modern in District 9. Similarly, higher floor, lower floor unit. So this one is the higher floor unit. This is the lower floor unit. Of course, this is a less drastic case. A higher floor unit is still sold higher, but in the span of about 2 months, see, this is March, this is January, in the span of 2 months, this floor difference, I believe is only one level difference, is more than 100K. More than 100K. So usually this is quite unusual, even though this is a CCR, but because the height is about the same, yet they command 100 plus K difference. Why is the case? Similarly, it's because of the purchaser's buying price. So the higher floor unit, the seller bought in at 3.644. So they bought in later, even though both are new sale. Higher floor, lower floor, they both bought from developer. But the higher floor unit, they bought later, and developer has already increased price, and they bought at 3.644 million. The lower floor unit, they bought in 2017, and they bought at 2.877 million. This is a much, much lower price. And that's why the lower floor unit, they were more willing to accept a lower price at 3.56 as compared to the higher floor. So once again, likely the 3.56 million buyer went to view both units, but the higher floor is not willing to accept a 3.56 million. Why? Because 3.56 would be lower than 3.644. Yeah. 3.56 million offer would be lower than a $3.644 million purchase price. And that's why the higher floor unit will see like, that's not worth because I don't want to lose money. So that's why they reject the offer. Then, when that 3.56 million buyer made the offer for the lower floor, the lower floor seller was willing to accept. Why? Because they bought it at a much cheaper price. So what is the strategy behind this? Honestly, you just need to find out all the different purchase price of the sellers. Why? Because based on the purchase prices that they had, that will also form the basis of their break-even price that they have in their mind. So after they consider stamp duty, bank interest, everything. So can I say that if you bought cheaper, your break-even price will also be lower than your neighbor who bought at a higher price than you. So since your neighbor bought higher, it is likely that your neighbor will only be willing to accept a much higher offer than yourself. So by understanding all this mentality of the sellers, when you make your search for your purchasers, it will be easier for you to negotiate with potential sellers. Because why? Even if two units are listed at the same price, they may have different threshold in terms of what they expect in the final closing price. And I hope this will really help you to save up to $100,000 or even more than $100,000 in your purchase journey. But of course, this is just one of the many strategies that I employ in helping my buyers to find their dream property. If you want to find out more, feel free to contact me. My name is Nicholas. I hope you have learned something from today's video, and be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next one.